I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard to live it, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there were times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
That was one of our most talented students, Kiona Williams, class 2024. Kiona is from Ohio, a geology major and an all-US scholar. Please join me to give Kiona another round of applause. Good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony of our annual celebration, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or MLK Week. My name is Esther Rosbrook, and I serve as the director of the Africana, Latin, Asian, Native American Culture Center here at Colgate University, and the lead coordinator for the MLK Week celebration. On behalf of Alana Culture Center professional staff, our Alana ambassadors, the Alana Intergroup Dialogue interns, the Alana Social Justice Peer Educators, and the multicultural students organizations, we hope that you all are well and safe wherever you are. Before we move forward with more of the exciting programs tonight, I would like to share with you our land acknowledgement. Alana Culture Center recognizes, with respect, the history of the indigenous people of Anyata'aka, or the people of the upright stones of Oneida Nation, whose ancestral lands Colgate University now stands. The Colgate recognizes our collective responsibility. The center recognizes our collective responsibility to acknowledge past colonial histories and is committed to social justice. Therefore, we acknowledge the history that the indigenous people have experienced, as well as its implications to the center's work related to social justice, awareness, and education. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. Tonight's MLK opening ceremony is very special. We gather both in person and virtually to celebrate Colgate's strategic diversity and inclusion initiatives. Soon tonight, our first female Vice President of Equity and Inclusion, Renee Madison, will deliver her speech about some of Colgate's equity and inclusion plan. Our opening ceremony, of course, will not be complete without the performances from some of our most talented, diverse student bodies. And we are honored to have one of our student leaders, Kalani Blas, class 2022, as tonight's student keynote speaker. Dr. King once said, "If you can fly, then run. If you can run, then walk. If you can walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." And that is what the Atlanta Culture Center is doing, moving forward. As my team and I look back on the challenging year that was 2021, we had to make so many changes in our best practices, from adjusting the students' advising and mentorship to the way we frame our work as one of the most active programming bodies on campus. Through resilience and collaboration with over 30 campus partners, we were able to stay committed to our mission and continue to deliver innovative, inclusive, and engaging programs for our community. We are hoping to do the same this year and in the future. Over 100 programs were coming from our center last year, and we look forward to doing the same to support our students' development and experiences and Colgate University goals. For the next 5 days, we invite you to join us in various programs, including dialogues led by our strongly committed student leaders, and some programs will be facilitated by our esteemed faculty members as well. Some conversation with our wonderful alumni, and a day of service supported by Max Sackney Center for Outreach, Volunteerism, and Education will be hosted as well. We are delighted to have Dr. Eddie Moore Jr. as our MLK keynote speaker on Thursday night at 7 p.m. This year, the center hosts its first Social Justice Summit on Saturday, where over 20 sessions and about 30 presenters are going to share various social justice topics. We are delighted to have the president of Colgate Student Coalition, Jessica Jensen, class 2022, as the summit's keynote speaker. Through this summit, participants and facilitators will have the opportunities to share experiences and learn from each other about ways to bring the knowledge related to social justice action plans and practices back to their campus. A special appreciation for the support of many campus partners have given us, faculty and student leaders who continue to support us in the Dr. King celebration in the past and this year. Together, we can do, build, and accomplish better. Please visit colgate.edu/MLK Celebration to see all of our MLK programs and registration links. And thank you very much for joining us in this opening ceremony tonight. We look forward to seeing you in our programs this week and in the future. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Gomez. I am a social justice peer educator for Alana Center. I also work as an intergroup dialogue intern alongside my coworker, Hillary. And tonight is my special honor to introduce one of our next guests, Grace Darko. Grace Darko is a multidisciplinary artist from the Bronx, New York, born to Ghanaian and Togolese parents. The youngest of 5 children, she is a senior at Colgate University studying Africana and Latin American studies. She also studies global public and environmental health. She does so in efforts to combine discipline of art history and health, and she is the founder of Sankofa Akua LLC in 2020. Tonight, she will be presenting her song, and I'm sorry, but I forgot the name. Yes, thank you. But tonight, it is our honor to hear her perform. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. God of all weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darlene Polanco-Waddles, and I'm the Assistant Director of the Alana Cultural Center. And it is my great honor to introduce our student keynote speaker, Kehlani Blas. Kehlani, class of 2022, is majoring in sociology with a minor in writing and rhetoric, and is currently in pursuit of an honors thesis in Colgate's sociology department. Kehlani works at the Alana Cultural Center as an Alana Lead Ambassador, is the co-house manager of La Casa Pana Latina Americana, a member of the Colgate Senior Honor Society, and a member of Colgate's first OUS community. Kehlani has been a fierce advocate in her fellow first-gen community and the cultural groups on campus. This can be seen in her work for the Colgate Student Coalition, in which she organized in support for the Black Lives Matter movement. For the last 2 years, Kehlani was the lead organizer of the Alana Multicultural Fashion Show, which successfully and safely celebrated the cultural diversity and expressions on campus. Please help me welcome Kehlani onto the stage.
Good evening, everyone in Hafade. I'm not nervous, you are. And thank you, Darlene. As she mentioned, my name is Kehlani, and I am extremely honored to be here with you in celebration of the work and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Esther Rosbrook, one of my sincerest and fiercest mentors, invited me to open this MLK Week celebration with a speech on the multicultural students' hopes and dreams for Colgate. For myself, as a cultural leader on campus, I hope that Colgate will build new cultural homes for the multicultural groups on campus. After all of the work we do, it is only right, if not the minimum, for us to live in a space that was created for us. I also hope that a strong, supportive, and personal infrastructure will be provided for the first-gen community. Without my first-gen cohort, my mentors, B, Frank, and Dre, I promise that I would not have made it this far. I hope the same love and support will be given to the first-gen students in the future, because we deserve it and we need it. I cannot paint the multicultural students' hopes and dreams in fine detail, as that would take more than one voice, but I can give you the broad strokes of a collective dream about a beloved community at Colgate. Beloved community is a concept that MLK very much believed in and worked tirelessly to see enacted. And a conversation about beloved community between writer and activist George Brosi and the late Bell Hooks, who just passed away, who was also a phenomenal professor and social activist. Beloved community is described as a relationship among those working for change and also as the desired result of the efforts. What that means is that we, as organizers and as movers and shakers, become the group of people that we wished for all of society to be. It is the community-level version of be the change you wish to see in the world. The best way for me to visualize the beloved community for you is in reflection of the summer of 2020, when it felt like the community was shattered, when there was not a bit of hope in our bones, and when we were heartbroken because of the systemic oppression of our nation. For some, the summer of 2020 was a wound we opened, a wound that has been carried and will continue to be carried by generations. For others, it was a new reckoning to the reality of the other side of America, the truth of America. And I, like many of us here today, were kept inside for more than was comfortable to dwell on our heartbreak. I was experiencing health anxiety and depression, which was exhausting and debilitating, and community organizing was all I could think about and bring myself to do. And even though I was on Zoom with the CSC, constantly working with others to do our part in the advocacy work for Black Lives Matter, I felt disconnected from the Colgate community, from my first-gen community, which was a second home, and from a place I had worked and fought so hard to create a home in. It was not a time that had room for hope, and everywhere we looked when we opened any social app on our phone, it was just and only violence. It was a time that was strictly about getting through the other day for everyone, and it was about survival. Though Dr. Martin Luther King said to us in a speech about Gone is Freedom, that freedom never comes on a silver platter. It's never easy. It comes only through the hardness and persistence of life. It comes through hard labor and it comes through toil. It comes through despair and disappointment, and that's the way it goes. The summer of 2020 was hours of despair and disappointment, but following that summer, the despair and disappointment persisted, and also the hard labor and the community organizing work of students, faculty, and staff. That persistence and hard labor and organizational work resuscitated me into a person who could have hope again. Also, I'm sorry, my nose is like, it's the cold, man. I just got here from Georgia. I'm not ready for this. Sorry. Don't mind that. But yeah, the hard work and the organizational labor persisted, even though there was also despair and disappointment. And that privilege is rooted in the community members that continue to do advocacy work since coming out of the thickness of 2020. It is Haley Taylor, Harleen Carr, and Yadi Nunez, who organized for Colgate and graduated in the intensity of 2021. It is Hilary Almanza, Issy Bloom, and their corps who have advocated for Latin American Student Organization. It is Sophia Beresford and her corps who have advocated for Black Student Union. It is Alex Tran, Ilana De La O, Adriana Cartandi, Trinity West, Joanna Rodriguez, Melanie Tlaseca Verde, Tara Walker, Adanya Judy, Flora Zhang. It is faculty and staff like B, Frank Kwan, Dre Finlay, Professor Palmer, Professor Lowe, Professor Sue, Dr. Esther Rosbrook, Carly Dower, and Darlene Polanco Waddles. The list of students, faculty, and staff who hold our community up goes on, and for them, I am incredibly grateful. They are the ones who have been truly present with myself and others. They have been checking in, encouraging us to push our boundaries, and they believe in our goals. They are sitting tight and holding us close. They are welcoming the conflict that exists between us and exercising the endurance to work through it together and with care. Because of them, I have been able to do everything I could imagine on this campus. My advocacy work, my scholarly work, my self-work, and growth is inspired and helped by this small community. With them, I have hope. We have beloved community. Like Bell Hooks said, the experience of a beloved community can change you, and that is the dream for the multicultural community now and forever. Thank you, and si jus maasi.
Hi, everyone. That was amazing. Thank you. Okay, so hi, everyone. My name is Hilary Almanza. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a current senior, and I am an Alana IGD intern, LASO president / senior advisor, co-La Casa house manager with the amazing Kehlani Blas, a member of the Senior Honor Society, and a proud first OUS scholar. And today I'd like to welcome Fuse to the stage for a dance performance, and later on, Manta Fondrakes for a singing performance. Thank you very much.
You know, let's have a dance fest too.
Everyone fall out. Get lost. In this town. Some road that's getting warm. And I feel now. 'Cause I got older and we got tired. Heaven, I know that we tried. Heaven, I know. Heaven, I know. Longer still, withstanding most I will. Still be the most I can. Try it out, drag it down now. Heaven, I know that we tried. Heaven, I know. Heaven, I know. In heaven, I know that we tried. Ascending now. In heaven, I know. In heaven, I know that we tried. collectively, unconsciously composed. I lost my heart in San Francisco, waiting for the fog to roll out. But I found it in a rain cloud, it was smiling down. Do you feel the love? I feel the love. Come on, let's start it up. Let it pour out of your soul. Ba-ba-na-na-na-na, ba-ba-na-na-na, ba-ba-na-na. Ba-ba-na-na-na-na, ba-ba-na-na-na, ba-ba-na-na, ba-na-na, ba-ba-na-na, ba-na-na, ba-na, ba-na-na, 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 ba-na, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I've been in love with love and the idea of something binding us together. You know that love is strong enough, and I've seen time tell tales about that systematic drug, yeah, that heart that beats as one. It's collectively, unconsciously composed. You feel the love, I feel the love. Come on, let's start it up. Let it pour out of your soul. Do you feel the love? I feel the love. Come on, let's start it up. Let it pour out of your soul. Do 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 do
I have the great honor to introduce Vice President Renee Madison. Born and raised in the Midwest, Renee Madison is from a small family that encouraged curiosity and learning. She went on to earn her Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology from DePaul University and her Juris Doctor from IU Robert H. McKinney School of Law. After graduating from law school, Renee served as the city of Indianapolis as a domestic violence prosecutor. She then transitioned to the National Collegiate Athletics Association in the Enforcement Division. Renee joined the President's Cabinet at DePaul University to serve as Senior Advisor to the President of Diversity and Compliance, also serving as the Title IX Coordinator and Chief Human Resources Officer. After leaving DePaul, Renee joined the Mayor's Cabinet in Indianapolis to serve as the Chief Human Resources Officer for the City of Indianapolis and Marion County, overseeing the strategic leadership and operations of the team that supports the 7,500 employees of the City of Indianapolis and Marion County. Renee also authored the Racial Equity Strategic Plan on behalf of the mayor and joined the City County Council leadership team working with the Government Alliance on Racial Equity. Renee joined Colgate University in October 2021, bringing her curiosity, passion, and commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and partnership. Renee Madison.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Colgate's annual celebration of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy, celebrating unity and diversity. Before sharing my thoughts with you, can we please give a big thank you to Esther Rosbrook for her leadership and hard work bringing our celebration together, and to the Alana students who helped bring this program together. I am honored and humbled to be addressing you today as we begin a week of events honoring Dr. King. Honoring and celebrating Dr. King's legacy, for me, is layered with complex and mixed emotions. Dr. King led people across this country and mobilized efforts to demand change. His leadership and brilliance are worthy of celebration. Yet, in honoring his legacy, we must also acknowledge why he had to fight. The fight for civil rights, for equity, wasn't and isn't just a fight for equal access to opportunity. It's just not a fight for eliminating barriers or access to vote, to have affordable and safe housing, transportation, or education. Dr. King challenged us to confront our history, acknowledge our present, and call on our nation's collective and our individual moral imperative to end structural and systemic oppression against our Black and brown family. We still fight today. Changing structures and systems in society cannot happen if we don't first begin with education. We must educate ourselves to filter through the noise. We must think critically about who has the power to make change and how this change will positively or negatively impact individuals and society as a whole. In 1947, at the age of 18, in his last year as a student at Morehouse, Dr. King did not mince words about the responsibility of education. He wrote an article for the Maroon Tiger saying, in part, "Education must train one for quick, resolute, and effective thinking. To think incisively and to think for oneself is very difficult. We are prone to let our mental life become invaded by legions of half-truths, prejudices, and propaganda. At this point, I often wonder whether or not education is fulfilling its purpose. A great majority of the so-called educated people do not think logically and scientifically. Even the press, the classroom, the platform, and the pulpit, in many instances, do not give us objective and unbiased truths. To save man from the morass of propaganda, in my opinion, is one of the chief aims of education. Education must enable one to sift and weigh evidence, to discern the true from the false, the real from the unreal, and the facts from the fiction. The function of education, therefore, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. But education which stops with efficiency may prove to be the greatest menace to society. The most dangerous criminal may be the man gifted with reason, but with no morals. Morality is a community contract we share with one another. Systemic barriers, unequal treatment, and oppression are immoral. If you are academically and intellectually gifted and do not care if people are harmed, or entire groups of people are harmed, this is immoral. I would offer that while King challenged us to educate ourselves to think intensively, critically, and morally, I also believe that intensive critical and moral thinking also requires humility and courage. We cannot sift and weigh evidence or discern the truth from the false, the real from the unreal, and the facts from the fiction if we don't have the courage and the humility for self-examination, to confront our opportunities to do and be better. We must be able to look at ourselves, individually and collectively, in the mirror. Thinking critically requires the humility to know that we may make mistakes and we don't know everything. Thinking critically requires the courage to learn, to act, and to correct our mistakes. I am thrilled to have recently joined this Colgate community. Colgate's motto, "For God and Truth," emulates Dr. King's call to education. Colgate's commitment to a liberal arts education that values critical thinking is a vision of Dr. King's education. Over the last several months, I've heard a lot about the Colgate excellence. Our excellence is not only predicated on our academic, intellectual, scholarly, or athletic success. Our excellence also requires our morality. As you begin to know me, you will find that I am zealously committed to living in a world where our identity and our intersecting identities do not predict success, happiness, or the ability to thrive. I am also committed to thinking critically with courage and humility about how the Colgate community lives our values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Are our unique and distinct selves valued and respected? Can we live and learn in a community authentically? If I didn't have hope and confidence in our community, I would not be here today. However, my hope and confidence is not enough. I need you. Colgate needs you. Our nation and the world needs you. We also need the folks tuning in via live stream. Those of us here and those of us tuning in sometimes think, Well, you are preaching to the choir. We know this, and we are here united. We also need the people who believe that they can opt out of conversations about difference and belonging. We can no longer hide and refuse to engage because of being too afraid of making mistakes or confronting our own biases and prejudices. While I've had a chance to meet with many of you in the Colgate community, this spring semester, I will continue reaching out to you as individuals and organizations. I will not only seek out those of you who have been voices and advocates for change, I will be reaching out to those of you who have not historically been involved in these conversations. I will be calling on all of us, students, faculty, and staff, to live our values. We cannot value diversity without also valuing equity and inclusion. To do so, we have to take a look in the mirror. We have to have humility and courage to make change that reflects these values in our culture, in our policies and practices, and it all begins with our education. I look forward to working with those of you who have already been tirelessly fighting for inclusive excellence and already singing in the choir. And I look forward to working with those of you who have not yet joined. We have a place for you. Thank you for celebrating our evening tonight and this week of events.
My name is Carly Dewar. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the office manager at the Alana Cultural Center. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce Corey McPherson, who's the Associate University Chaplain and the Protestant minister here, and he's going to lead us in prayer. So please help me welcome Corey to the stage.
Thank you to Dr. Rossbrook and the Alana Cultural Center for allowing me to be a part of this and inviting the Office of the Chaplains to join you this evening for this special time. When Dr. Rossbrook contacted me in the fall, she asked if I would pray, and she then asked if Sojourners Gospel Choir could perform. And I explained to her in February 2020, we hired our new gospel choir director, Dion Patterson. And from mid-February 2020 to mid-March 2020, that was an amazing time for the gospel choir. Those 4 weeks were just unbelievable. But many of you may not even realize we have a gospel choir, which we're relaunching this spring. So when she asked if the gospel choir could perform, I said, well, we don't have a gospel choir, but we have an amazing director. So thank you for allowing Dion to be a part who you'll meet momentarily. As I was working on the prayer for this evening, I was listening to the sermons of Dr. King and Knock at Midnight, which is on Spotify. I encourage you to listen to original recordings of Dr. King's sermons, and also reading his prayers. And I quickly realized that for the prayer this evening, I should really just get out of the way and allow a prayer for Dr. King to be shared this evening. So I'll be offering a prayer that was first published in Coretta Scott King's collection, In Private Hands, which he found in a folder listed as Sermon and Prayers in Dr. King's files after he passed, which he believes he presented at Ebenezer Baptist Church when he was co-pastoring the church with his father, and he was a seminary student at the time. So he was just a couple years older than you are now. So hear this prayer from Dr. King. Most gracious and all-wise God, before whose face the generations rise and fall, thou in him in whom we live and move and have our being, we thank thee for all thy good and gracious gifts, for life and for health, for food and for raiment, for the beauties of nature and the love of human nature. We come before thee painfully aware of our inadequacies and our shortcomings. We realize that we stand surrounded with the mountains of love and we deliberately dwell in the valley of hate. We stand amid the forces of truth and deliberately lie. We are forever offered the high road, yet we choose to travel the low road. For these sins, O God, forgive. Break the spell of that which binds our minds. Purify our hearts that we may see thee. O God, in these turbulent days when fear and doubt are mounting high, give us broad visions, penetrating eyes, and a power of endurance. Help us to work with renewed vigor for a warless world, for a better distribution of wealth, and for a brotherhood that transcends race or color. In the name and spirit of Jesus we pray. Amen.
I will Hello everyone, my name is Adriana Cartonati, class of 2022. I am an Alana Ambassador and currently the Senior Social Media Manager for the Organization of Asian Sisters in Solidarity on campus. On behalf of the Alana Cultural Center and its team, I would like to thank you for coming to this room and joining us on the live stream. Please find the complete MLK programs this year by going to colgate.edu/MLK Celebration. We hope you join us in as many MLK programs as possible. And to end our ceremony tonight, I would like to welcome our Alana Director, Dr. Esther Rosbrook, and Associate Professor of Chinese and Asian Studies, Professor John Crespi, to the stage. Thank you and have a good evening.
Throughout the year, we will present some gifts from student affairs practitioners on campus and faculty. So this is one of them, and we just want to make sure that everybody knows that both the Dean of College and Dean of Faculty are here for everyone, for our students, faculty, and staff. So here we are. This song is originally by Bob Dylan, my favorite singer and songwriter, and we adjusted a little bit just to fit into our program tonight. Yep. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, we could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel our love. When the evening shadows and the stars appears and there's no one there to dry your tears, we could hold you for a million years to make you feel our love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but we would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong here at Colgate. I go hungry walk the nights with you. There is nothing we wouldn't do. Walk the night and share our loves with you to make you feel our love. The storm is raging on the rolling sea and on the highway of regrets. Though the wind of change is blowing wild and free, you ain't seen nothing like us yet. I can make you happy, help your dreams come true. There is nothing we wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth with you to make you feel our love. The storm is raging over the rolling sea winds is blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like us yet. I can make you happy, help your dreams come true. There is nothing we wouldn't do. Go to the end of the earth with you to make you feel our love, to make you feel our love, to make you feel Colgate's love. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the night and enjoy the rest of the week. Please join us in our future programs. Good night. Thank you for coming.